Good morning. Here's your U.S. news briefing for Sunday, August 23rd. Robots compete in boxing, football and sprinting at World Humanoid Games. The second edition of the 5-day competition kicked off in Beijing, China, on Saturday. $200,000 worth of supplies donated to PB schools. Struggling households need more help with bills, energy industry says. Industry body Energy UK says the current support for households most in need does not go far enough. 2 years after launch, Walmart's Flipkart is closing in on India's quick commerce leaders. Flipkart's quick commerce venture is delivering 1.1 million to 1.2 million orders a day, nearly triple its November volume. Browns Watson, boos personal, not based on play. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson was booed in his first home game since suffering a right Achilles tendon injury in October 2024 and said he thought the reaction from the crowd was disrespectful and felt personal. Venice-Bound Meteorite, debut feature from Colombia's Sebastián Múnera, acquired by MoreThan Films, exclusive. MoreThan Films has acquired Colombian filmmaker Sebastián Múnera and #8217, S-Film and #8220, Meteorite and #8221, which will have its world premiere in Venice Critics and #8217, week, September 2nd to 12th. The film follows Tefa and Nia, who live in a small town near the Magdalena River, where they raise Nia's young nephew. Pisces Daily Horoscope. February 19th to March 20th. Zelensky has questions to answer about corruption in his government, sacked minister tells BBC. The sacked former defense minister has also called for elections to be held in Ukraine. Family throws surprise birthday party at Eagles tailgate for Vietnam vet. Mayors to get powers to overrule local councils on planning decisions. Housing Minister Matthew Pennycook said the change was essential for helping mayors effectively deliver new homes. Harvard's $699 startup bootcamp offers AI avatars of its instructors. In the HBS Foundry program, AI avatars provide feedback during practice pitches and board meetings. Ems Anderson's solid in debut, Arrows Arena walks it off. Rookie Kate Anderson had an up-and-down debut, allowing 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings for the Mariners, who won 5-4 over the Cubs on Randy Arrows Arena's walk-off, 2-run home run in the 9th. Upendra joins cast as Teja Saja, Shania Kapoor, Siddharth Varma's sequel titled Zombie Ready NXT LVL, exclusive. Kannada cinema superstar Upendra has joined the cast of an #8220, Zombie Ready NXT LVL, and #8221, the sequel to the hit in #8220, Zombie Ready, and #8221, in a powerhouse role, India and #8217, as People Media Factory has confirmed. The announcement, made on star Teja Saja and #8217's birthday, also confirms the film and #8217's cast and creative team. Zoe Kravitz experiments in a long misunderstood denim style. Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz have a shared love of classic straight-leg jeans, but the actor strikes out in a more retro silhouette. Trump says Canada wants benefits of being U.S. state after trade talks collapse. Canada's PM said he was reluctantly announcing retaliatory tariffs and accused the U.S. of starting a trade war. Body cam shows federal agent was unjustified in Memphis shooting, attorney says. The family of Jonah Neal and their attorney were recently shown video from the day that Neal was shot by a federal agent while he experienced a mental health crisis. Iran-linked hackers behind cyber attack that shut down power plant, reports say. The government says at no point was there a risk to the UK's energy system during the attack in July. Will the DOJ's investigation into a 16Z spook other VCs? On the latest episode of Equity, we wonder why the DOJ is investigating startup board seats. Skubal author's great outing, wins first as Dodger. Tarek Skubal started out shaky, putting the Los Angeles Dodgers in a 3-0 hole in the first inning Saturday, but the 2-time Cy Young Award winner rebounded, leading the 2-time defending World Series champions to a 4-3 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. One battle after another and Marty Supreme take top honors at Location Managers Guild International Awards. One battle after another and Marty Supreme took top honors at the Location Managers Guild International LMGI Award. The LGMI Awards were handed out on Saturday night and honor the use of filming locations across motion pictures, television, commercials, film commissions, and special achievement categories. Ariana Grande and Ricky Alvarez layer up for an even harder launch in London. In London for the Eternal Sunshine Tour, Ariana Grande and boyfriend Ricky Alvarez are holding onto the last embers of British summertime, despite the temp. We're not going to run from it, Sydney Marathon laughs off medal error. Runners will receive a medal at the 2026 Sydney Marathon with an engraving of a German stadium. NAACP slams Navy's reported talks to swap war hero's name on carrier with Trump's. NAACP President Derek Johnson bashed the Navy Friday following reports that it planned to rename an aircraft carrier, named after a black World War II war hero, and had considered President Trump's name as a replacement. Johnson wrote in a social media post that the alleged talks surrounding the USS Doris Miller's name are a slap-in. Inside Coca-Cola's secretive innovation labs, how the beverage giant wants to automate dirty soda and refreshers. From McDonald's to Wendy's, longtime Coke customers have been expanding their beverage offerings to boost their profit margins. Inherent, founded by DeepMind alumni, says its AI teammate just outperformed Anthropic and OpenAI at replicating research. Built by DeepMind alumni, British AI lab Inherent released Faraday, an AI agent whose ability to replicate scientific papers could be a stepping stone for innovation. ReeseNet's career-high 31 puts Dream in playoffs. The Dream clinched a playoff berth behind Angel Reese's career-best 31 points and her 14 rebounds Saturday night in a 99-89 win over the Mercury. National Treasure 3 is finally real and we have a script, director says. The Disney movies, released in 2004 and 2007, starred Nicolas Cage as treasure hunter Ben Gates. Carlos Alcaraz's complete dating history. Girl, 17, killed in Swedish sword attack, police say. 2 boys aged 12 and 17 were also injured, while an 18-year-old suspect has been detained. Collins asks White House to consider negative impact of Canada trade war. Senator Susan Collins, Republican Maine, pushed the Trump administration to consider the negative impact that engaging in a tariff war with Canada may have on American constituents, straying away from some of her GOP peers. Republican lawmakers were split Saturday after negotiations between Canada and the U.S. More students planning to live at home for university over insane living costs. Students like Jessica say they worry about missing out on student life, but feel they have no choice but to stay at home. Doodle generative compositions in your browser with musical spirograph. I remember having a spirograph as a kid and being obsessed with it. Its geometric patterns are hypnotic and gorgeous. I also love generative music composition. Phoebix all-around game sparks Liberty's win. New York wing Leone Phoebix, back in action for the first time since July 3, had 20 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists while playing strong defense on Caitlin Clark in the Liberty's 109-102 victory over the Fever. Spa Weekend Review, Leslie Mann and Isla Fisher go underserved in a lukewarm bath of a comedy. Anna Faris and Michelle Buteau also star in the film by Bad Moms directors John Lucas and Scott Moore, about 4 childhood friends on a birthday trip that spirals out of control. Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian's complete relationship timeline. Trump Mobile promoted a Made in the USA phone, but the details kept changing. BBC Verify tracks the changes in design, spec, manufacture and release date of the T1 phone from Trump Mobile. Trump fights BBC's push to subpoena family members amid legal battle. President Trump is attempting to block the BBC's efforts to subpoena his family members for the channel's defense in his ongoing $10 million defamation lawsuit. In Saturday court filings, Trump's lawyers wrote that the British broadcaster's attempts to subpoena the president's children, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump and son-in-law Jared Kushner, were cynical and Most Americans aren't anti-vaccine. They're uncertain, and that's a growing public health challenge. The bigger issue at hand may be that many Americans fall into a large, uncertain middle ground, neither firmly pro-vaccine nor staunchly opposed. OpenAI says California should strengthen its AI safety bill. OpenAI is calling for California to strengthen SB 53, an AI safety bill that the company previously opposed. McCarthy starts, gets banged up in Vikings loss. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy, who ended up with 18 snaps, would have played longer Saturday if he had not gotten banged up during a rough first quarter in the Minnesota Vikings' 13-3 preseason loss to the Baltimore Ravens, coach Kevin O'Connell said. Mark Ruffalo rejects Paramount's claim his anti-merger comments were anti-Semitic. My views should never be interpreted as hostility toward Jewish people. The actor and staunch opponent to the David Ellison-led studio's $111 billion deal for Warner Brothers recently took aim at Ellison's father Larry Ellison and his company Oracle's ties to the Israeli military. Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi's dating world tour continues in London. Following his solo appearance at the Dog Stars premiere, Jacob Elordi was joined by Kendall Jenner for a night on the town. Syria says Israeli strike near Damascus violation of international law. The latest incident comes days after reports emerged Israel had struck a military airbase close to the Turkish border. Sunday shows preview, Canada faces off in trade war with U.S. amid national debt woes, Republicans gear up for upcoming primaries. Negotiations between the United States and Canada fell through this weekend, causing the Trump administration to impose a 50% tariff on its northern neighbor. But Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney swiftly responded with his own retaliatory tariff on the U.S. The Prime Minister said during a Saturday press conference that Canada will match Washington's. That's your briefing for today. Have a great day.